welcome to Orion Outreach. My name is Jessie Agnew, your host today, and with me is Pat Nolf of the Pink Ribbon Trailblazers. How are you doing today, Pat?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing really well. Now, first, before we start, I gotta compliment you on your bling that's going on here.
Ooh.
You got your earrings, the Pink Ribbon Trailblazer earrings,
And my pin,
and your
ribbon lady.
and the pink ribbons on your vest.
Yep.
Now, October is Pink Ribbon Month, right?
Yep.
Now,
Breast Cancer Awareness
Breast
Night.
Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Now, what has your organization done for this month?
We've done a lot of things. It's really been exciting. Last, I think a week ago, just to name one of them, in our calendar we have 12 different women that are breast cancer survivors. And one of them happens to be Victoria Connolly, and she has Victoria's Delights, which is a very fine restaurant. And what she did is that she came up and decided that she would have an event for some of the proceeds.
It was a Women, Wine, and Song, right?
Yep,
yeah.
Women, Wine, and Song. And it was just delightful. I was the guest along with Henry, who is the photographer that does the Pink Ribbon Trailblazers calendar. And not only did she do it on a Sunday night because they were sold out, she did it on Monday night, and that was sold out also.
Wow.
So we had a 5-course dinner with 5 different kinds of wine. And what was really surprising is that the wine was made from women winemakers.
Oh, wow.
For sure. And there were Merlot and Chardonnay, and then a very sweet wine for dessert. And then she had songs from, I think it was 4 different women who had actually written the songs, and some of them, the group that were in the restaurant, we had heard those, so we decided that we'd partake and sing a little bit. But it was a wonderful evening, and I thank Vicki very much for doing that for us.
And all the proceeds went to your organization?
No, not all of them, a portion of them. And actually, I don't have the check yet, but I know it's coming.
That sounds like a great night, though. That sounds like one of my kind of nights
yeah,
I'd love to go to.
It was delightful.
Now, your website mentions that you guys are going in a different direction with the organization now. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. For years, I think ever since 2007, we had an event on the Pollyant Trail, and I felt like the last 2 years that it just wasn't, for all the work involved with myself and my committee, it just didn't seem like it was worth actually going around and asking people for auction items, and plus the numbers kept decreasing. So I sat back and with my committee, and I thought, well, how can we raise money without having an event?
So you kind of phased that part out of it.
Yep. And when September, we always had it the second Saturday in September, and when that rolled around, I just had a nice sigh of relief, and I didn't have to worry about the weather because we've been rained on. And it's just almost like a whole new opening for me. And one of the ways that I do it is I actually looked into grants, and I know when we last spoke, we talked about grants.
Yes.
And we have 2 grants coming that I'm excited about. And one of them is the Greater Rochester Women's Fund, and then there's the Bloomfield Hills Women's Club.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to those checks, of course.
Of course.
Yes, and I'm trying to think, we've also decided that we're going to have some nonprofits actually fundraise for us. For example, the last 3 years, the Clarkson Eagles, they put on an event. It's a spaghetti dinner, and the price is very economical, $10, and they're actually going to do that for our benefit on January 18th of 2014. And so I'll have a couple of auction items there, and we have some of the people knew that last year we had something at Pink Creek Country Club called the Booby Fest. Descriptive,
Appropriate
right?
name.
And we had this delightful couple. They're called Lisa D and E, and they will walk among the crowds and the people having dinner and sing songs. And
This is the spaghetti dinner.
yep, the
Okay.
spaghetti dinner. And so the people who realized that how good they were, I'm hoping that they'll come to the Clarkston Eagles and help us out, because we will get all of the funds from that fundraiser. And it'll start off our 2014 sales in a good part. So I'm excited about that.
Now, we talked about how you guys are changing your direction without the Pollyann Trail and focusing more on fundraising, but your cause has not changed. Can you tell me, kind of like a brief summary, what Pink Ribbon Trailblazers is about?
Okay. Our main, in order to become a 501c3, which is a nonprofit accepted by the IRS, we had to have a mission statement and what was our mission. And our mission, and it still is to enable women that are uninsured and underserved to be able to get a free mammogram. And the only stipulation is that they live in Oakland County. And I think the great part about our program, in difference to, there's 2 other programs in Oakland County similar, is first of all, if a woman is diagnosed, we never turn them away. St. Joe will work with a counselor in some kind of a payment plan. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that we have another diagnostic tool that they use, and that's an ultrasound. We also pay for that. And the great thing about ours is that we come right out front and say that each mammogram costs $108. So when you put those figures, and I look at the clinics, I know almost about how much money I need to make each year. So it's kind of a win-win situation. And the great thing about our free clinics is that not only do they receive a free mammogram, they also receive a private screening by the medical director of St. Joe, a woman named Dr. Amy Kirby. And she's delightful. And when people leave, they have a smile on their face and give us a hug. And it really is. When I think about maybe I want to not do this anymore, then when I see their faces, I just can't. I just can't not do it. It's just part of me, I guess.
Now, you spearheaded this foundation?
Yes.
Is this where you imagine yourself would be?
No,
No?
not not at all. I think before my breast cancer, I was more me. We had raised 4 girls, college educated, and my husband had retired, and I figured, well, we'll travel. And actually, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, we were a week away from going to Ireland, and that was when the towers went down. And I think it was kind of a godsend because I probably would have been over in Ireland. And the way that my breast cancer was diagnosed is that, and these are one of the, this is one of the warning signals that maybe you have breast cancer, is my breast actually started to bleed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and if I looked
terrifying.
and I go, oh, well, I have to go to church, so I just merrily went.
Go to church and pray then.
Yeah, I prayed a lot. And so then it was just a quick thing. I think I mentioned a long time ago that one of my daughters is a physician assistant, and I had told her that on Sunday, and she said, oh, Mom, you got to go see your OBGYN tomorrow. So I still wasn't really convinced that she knew what she was talking about. Sorry, Jen. But I found out on September 26th that I did indeed have breast cancer, and that's how my journey began.
And you were lucky in a sense because you did have the insurance to pay for that mammogram and you did have that support. But other women, oftentimes who are underinsured and underserviced, they don't have that
Right.
there for them.
Right.
And that's what you guys are all about?
Right. When I was in, I was actually had the misfortune of having a bacterial and a staph infection right after my mastectomy. So I ended up back at the hospital for 11 days, and I actually had to fight for my life. 3 of those days I don't even remember, and I just knew that my husband was in the room with me, and I was going in and out and in and out. But after the 3rd day, I started responding to the medicine they were giving me, and I had a lot of time to think about, what do I really want to do with my life? You know, do I want to just go shopping and out to lunch and to a movie with friends? And I think it affected me so much that I felt like I had to give back. And then I had read some stories about other women and men doing paying it forward. So I decided that that's what I wanted to do.
That's one phrase that I read on your website a lot, was paying it forward. That's what all the stories of other women's personal experiences wanted to do.
Yep.
Now, your way of paying it forward was creating this organization.
Yep.
And what year was that?
That was in 2007.
2007, and it's kind of just blossomed from there.
Yes, it has. It has. I know the first time we were out in the field at the Marilyns Trail, and I go, what if no one comes? I mean, it was just like, and then they started filtering in, and I had said that if we could make enough money for 30 mammograms, that I would consider it successful. And as it turned out, we paid for 130 mammograms. We had made that much money.
Add another 100 to that 30 you
yeah,
hoped for.
Yeah, so that's how it all began, in baby steps. And I have to thank my committee also, because without them, I don't think I could have gotten it off the ground. And most of them were breast cancer survivors that I had met through my support group at St. Joseph Mercy Oakland.
Well, I'd like to congratulate you for how far you guys have come.
Thank you.
That's something that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, one thing we talked about earlier too was the calendars. And what are those exactly?
Yeah, this is a photo of the actual calendar itself, and that's a story that I think is quite ironic, but I just happened to meet this man at my girlfriend's shop up in Oxford, and his name's Henry Hopkins, and he's a very successful photographer. So when Lisa introduced me to him, he said, you know, I thought about one of my colleagues, a woman, has done a breast cancer calendar. And he said, I've been thinking about that. And I go, oh? And I said, yeah. He says, it's kind of in the back of my mind. Well, then I saw him 3 weeks later, and again at the same place at Ella Fashion. And he says, hi. And I said, oh, hi, Henry. I said, I've got all the girls. When do you want to start? And he goes, what? And I said, remember you said that you wanted to do a calendar. Well, I have 11 other women who are really raring to go. And
all breast cancer survivors,
yes,
right?
all breast cancer survivors. So he kind of looked at me and he goes, well, I really wasn't talking about this fall. I meant next year. And I go, well, how about I let all these women? He goes, oh, all right.
Doesn't sound like he needed much convincing.
No. So it's been very successful. This is our 3rd year. And to me, it's a blessing because I meet some of these strong women. And it's just, I think about how I went through it, and the women come from all different directions in life, and cancer can happen to any of them, even if you don't follow the right diet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people don't know, but everyone has cancer in their body every single day. But you're able to eliminate that, And the whys and wherefores, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but it's just, they are so appreciative of what they have that it shows in their photographs. It really does. And Henry's a great photographer, and each year it seems to get better. And then we're actually fingering out and getting women from different areas in Oakland County. Although this year we had an event that we had 4 women from Oxford that were in the calendar. And then when Victoria decided to do a fundraiser for us, we had CJ from the Oxford Leader come over before the party, and he took a photo of myself and Henry and for the 4 girls that are from Oxford. And it was just quite nice, and the publicity's been great.
You guys ended up in the Oxford paper too, didn't you?
Yes, yes.
I saw the picture.
Yes, and Henry was there, and he was the only man in the house, so he probably enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's probably wasn't an issue for him.
No, but yeah, so we've come a long way, and more of our focus, as I said, wasn't on the trail anymore. So we have had, like Paint Creek Country Club has done a fundraiser for us, and they call it Pink Day. And we even get the manager, the general manager, to wear his pink shirt. And we have a golf outing, and it's really been a lot of fun. And we just go from this, I think this is our 3rd year there also. And I'm trying to think of what other ways that we have earned money, and they kind of escapes me now, but we are doing very well.
Sounds like you guys have a lot of support. I can imagine how some would escape you, because it's coming from all directions.
Yes, it is. And one of the ones that I would like to mention is that Suburban Motors, which has a very large staff. I had not heard of them before, but one of the girls, her name was Karen, and she had just gotten a job at Suburban Motors and had felt a lump in her breast. And she had nowhere to turn, because even though she was working, her insurance didn't cover it yet. So she called around some of the hospitals and received, no, we don't have any kind of a program. And then she called St. Joe, and they said, yes, we could fit you in next week. And so Karen came in for a free mammogram and the screening by Dr. Kirby, and she didn't have cancer. So that was a blessing and a relief on her mind. And so then in the following year, they decided that they would have a fundraiser for the Pink Ribbon Trailblazers. So it's just another way.
So now it's spreading.
Yes, it is. It is. And so it's just been delightful, and everyone's just been so positive. I think that's what I get the feeling that, okay, we can do this. And
a lot of strength behind these women, and behind you, of course, too.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about was your website that you have online. Can you tell me a little bit about that, what the website is, what we can find on it?
Oh, I have this wonderful woman that actually does my my website, our website, and it's www.pinkribontrailblazers.com. And I met Michelle Overton in 2006, and she had just had a friend who had died of breast cancer, and was very, it really tugged at her heart. So she had heard about me from another friend, and she said, why don't you come over to my house, and we can talk about, see if we could get something going. And then she volunteered to do our website, and she does not receive any salary, and once in a while I surprise her, but other than that, she just loves doing the site, and and she thinks about her friend, and she has everything like, well, two of your interviews, and it's all there. And then we've gone into the marketplace. I have earrings for sale.
That's right, part of your bling.
Yes, and I don't have the ring yet, but I might work.
You have
on
a pretty
that.
good ring right now.
Yeah, and but in this year, our first year, and they're actually made in the United States, and which is a surprise. And we worked with a jeweler in Washington, so they're made in the United States. But we have a golf ball marker, and I think it's retail for $15. I haven't looked at the site for a while, but it's a lot less expensive than what you can find in the regular stores. And it's our signature woman ribbon lady. So yeah, it's been exciting.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Pat, for coming on the show so much. It was great to see you again. I hope you come back again soon.
All right, I will.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
All right, that's it for Orion Outreach today. Again, I'm Jessie Agnew. Thank you for watching.